Wait till you see these adorable Halloween DIYs. My name is Courtney. Let's get crafty. You need some type of frame for this project. This one came from Dollar Tree. The other thing is you want to make sure that your background is black. Now, of course, you can adapt that. If you don't want to have a black background, you don't have to, but that's also what drew me to this frame, is that it was already black right there. Now you want to grab some cheesecloth. I usually like to get mine on Amazon because I feel like it works out to be cheaper, but you can get it wherever you want. And I cut a piece of it. It was about 17 inches long. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to make a little ghost, a cheesecloth ghost, to put in this frame. So once I opened this up, I did cut it in half. And then I put those two pieces on top of each other. Now it's time to start kind of pulling your ghost together and making it have a ghost shape. So for this, I just trimmed it a little bit, kind of figured out how big it needed to be. And then you are going to want to take a little bit of that cheesecloth and stick it in where the head goes, because you do want to have a little bit of definition up there and not have it be super flat. So once I figured that out, I did go in with some hot glue inside of the cheesecloth and just kind of secure that little wad of cheesecloth. And then I also put a dab of glue on the back of the ghost's head to attach it to the frame. You will need some black felt to cut out 2 little black eyes, and I'm just going to attach those to my ghost with some hot glue. You want to grab some florals, and I'm just kind of picking out this Dollar Tree pick that was from a very long time ago. I just grabbed 3 little pieces. I did take some hot glue and kind of glue them together at the bottom. Then what you want to do is on one side of the ghost, you kind of want to pull the side off and just tuck it around your flowers so that it looks like the ghost is holding those up. Then you can just tack it with some hot glue, get it nice and secure. And the final step here, other than just doing a little trimming at the bottom of the ghost, is I did take some velvet ribbon and I tied a little bow, and then I just hot glued that directly to my little picture. And I absolutely love how this turned out. You definitely could maybe make a little family of ghosts and have each person in your family create their own little ghost kind of self-portrait. It would be so, so cute. It's no secret I love playing games, so guess what? While I'm sitting here waiting for my paint to dry on my projects, I'm actually going to make a little bit of money at the same time. How, you ask? With one simple word: free cash. Free Cash is an online platform where people from all over the world can sign up for free and earn money online just by having fun with mobile games. The process couldn't be easier. Sign up, choose an offer, complete it, and get paid. Free Cash now has an impressive 4.8 star rating on Trustpilot with over 200,000 reviews. As soon as you pick your first offer, the fun really starts. I made $5 just for choosing my first game. Then I tried a couple more offers, and before I knew it, I had earned $20, which I cashed out straight away to PayPal. Make sure you enable app tracking so that Free Cash can accurately track your progress, and if you'd like to speed things along, you can always make in-app purchases to help with that. And the best part, PayPal is just one of the many payout options. Free Cash also supports a wide range of other withdrawal methods, so you can choose what works best for you. It's honestly such a fun and easy way to earn a little extra cash while doing something enjoyable, playing games. If you want to give Free Cash a try, just click the link in the description below or scan the QR code on the screen. Don't forget, you'll get a $5 bonus as soon as you complete your first offer. Now let's get back to the DIYs. Got a free template for you. Again, you can grab this down below. We're gonna want to cut both of these out. I just printed these with my regular printer on some cardstock to give these templates a little bit of sturdiness. So cut these out and then we'll be ready to trace them. Okay, so we've got our templates cut out. Now you need to grab 2 pieces of felt. For the ghost, obviously you just need to use white, and I just got this at Hobby Lobby. We're going to use white for this, and then you're going to need orange for this one. Now you are going to need 2 of your pieces. So what I'm going to do is, I don't know if I can, I think I'm going to fold it in half this way. And I need to get my good fabric scissors so that I can cut this out. All right, so what I'm gonna do, for this is I am just gonna take some painter's tape. You could pin this also if you wanted to, but I'm just gonna use some painter's tape to hold this down. To make it a little easier so that it stays in place. Because where the tape's touching, it's not gonna be shown, you know what I mean? So like this part that we're trimming off, you're not gonna see it. So even if this pulls off a little bit of the felt, it's okay. All right, I'm gonna grab my very sharp fabric scissors, and with this doubled up, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut, but I'm gonna get rid of this extra first. All right, so now what we've got are these two pieces. So what we need to do, starting with the ghost first, is we want to put some eyes on. So you could use felt, or I actually ordered some of these little eyes. It came, I don't know, it's like $8 or $7 for all of these eyeballs. So if you think you're going to be doing character stuff for Christmas and fall, this is probably a good thing to have. These are flat back ones, so they don't have the little prongs, which I like. Now I gotta pick the right size, so let's mess around with that. Now they're not ovals, they are round, so you have to take that into consideration. Kind of looking like a ghost spider at this point with all the eyeballs everywhere. I think I opt on the size of, or the smaller side, I think I'm gonna stick with these two eyes like that. Right there. I wonder if I could use one of these for the mouth. No, that just looks like a big honking nose, so we're not going to do that. All right. Here we go. So I'm going to leave that for the eyes, just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and attach those with a little bit of hot glue. You could use some fabric glue if you want, but I'm going to go for the hot glue here. I just want to get that attached. Again, you can use felt eyes. You could do a marker if you wanted to, like a fabric marker, but it might bleed a little bit and not look that great. So I would say marker is probably the last thing I would use for the eyes, but there we go. We got our cute little eyeballs on there now. Now, you've got two options here. We want to put a little bit of batting in this. So you can take some hot glue and go ahead. And what I have found that is much easier when you are stuffing things, a little tip here is, so for instance, this one has all these weird like bumpity bumps on the bottom, but then this is just like not much going on. Leave that part open. So that way it's just so much easier once you put the batting in there when you're trying to close it than having all these weird like edges and batting sticking out in weird places. So same with the star, just, you know, pick a good side here to fill it. There's not a lot of weird bumpy bumps on this one, so that one will be easier to do. But you can use hot glue, you can use fabric glue, or if you want to sew it, you can do a nice little top stitch. I would probably do like a 3.0 stitch width on it just to give it a nice look, but you can top stitch it, leaving an opening again so that you can stuff it. So I think for me, I am probably going to go ahead and I actually have orange thread in my machine right this second. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch this star, and I'm going to leave one of these sides open. So I'm going to top stitch all the way around, leaving an opening. So here's where we're at. As you can see, I do need to do a little bit of trimming, and that's totally fine. So I'm just going to take my scissors and trim off any extra. Okay, so I've trimmed it. So whether you decided to use your sewing machine or you have hot glued it, you should have a little opening like this. Now you just want to take your stuffing, which I just use old pillows, and I usually like to kind of work it a little bit before I stick it in there. And then we're just going to stick this in here. And where is mine? Here we go. You want to just kind of make sure you get the fluff where you want it to go. This is a little bit of the trickier part. Now you're going to have to take it back to your machine and really make sure you have enough, because then you're going to have to kind of maneuver it a little bit to get the batting filling where you want it to go. So I am just gonna kind of hollow out here, but push it there. So now I'm gonna take this to my machine and very carefully stitch. If you're gonna glue it, then just very carefully put your glue, kind of squeeze it, glue, and go that route. All right, I'm gonna take it to my machine. All right, so here I've got this all stitched up. I did close it up all the way. I would probably recommend, if you want, you can leave a little hole, but I just wanted to finish it off because we are gonna be putting this on a stick. So you can leave a little hole if you want, but I prefer to go ahead and do the stitching and then just cut a little hole to stick these in there. So there is this. Same thing, if you want to use glue, you can use glue, or you can stitch it if you want to stitch it. So I think, what am I gonna do? Well, first I need to get these pieces even because they're not even at all. So just make sure you flip your pieces front and back to make sure that they're nice and even, because clearly mine were not. All right, so now we're just doing the same thing. I have put some stuffing in here and I'm gonna take it back to my machines. If you glued it, then you're just gonna put your stuffing and you just wanna run glue right here. And then if you have clips after you've glued it, that's a good idea. Unless you're using hot glue, then it should be fine. But let's go get this stitched up. I've got my ghost and I have got my little star. Now I am going to cut some vinyl decals to put on mine. I'm using iron-on vinyl, so if you don't know the trick, if you do have a Cricut, make sure you always put the shiny side down and mirror on. So I'm gonna weed this out real quick. Piece of wood to grab up some of that heat. There you go. Perfect. And there is our Hocus Pocus one. So we're done with the heat press. We will not need that anymore. Iron or whatever you want to call it. The next thing we want to do is we want to get our dowels into this. So that's why I was saying you could leave a little gap if you wanted to, so you could just slip it in. But I actually am just going to get some sharp scissors somewhere there. And I'm just gonna make a little cut in the back of this, and then we'll just slip our dowel rod up like that. So I'm just gonna snip just a very small little slit right here. There we go. Just like that. I just think this looks a little bit cleaner as opposed to having it wrap around, because you kind of get, you know what I'm saying, that look when you take the felt. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So like if you did it like this, then you get that like, I don't like that look where it's like wrapped around it tight, but by putting it in the back, the the front stays nice and smooth like that. So that's why I have started to do things this way with a little. All right, so now that I've got a little slit, then all we have to do, I gotta do one on the other side. So we'll just cut, make sure I cut it in the right spot. A little slit. There we go. And then of course this is nice and pointy, so that helps. These are left over from the mystery box challenge. And I am just gonna take my little dowel, and as I push it in there, I'm trying to make sure that I am pushing it through the batting, but it is a nice secure, like, that's just even without glue. So you can kind of shove it up in there, making sure it's in the batting. And then I will tack with a little bit of hot glue here in the front, just so that it stays secure, but it is in there really tight, so I'm not really worried about extra. So then I just go like that, and I just think that looks so much better than having this like wrapped tight around it. So there's one, and And of course you can trim these down. We'll trim them down in a second. Let's do the second one, same procedure. And it helps to have this point, if I didn't say that already. When you stick it in there, just make sure you're going kind of through the batting. And so now we've got them on their sticks. So now comes the fun part, embellishing these. So I'm gonna grab a couple different things that I might want to use, and then we'll pull this together. Okay, I've pulled some things. We're gonna see what we like here. So I've got some orange and black ribbon, and then some miscellaneous trim box. So let's start with the ghost first. I think what I want to do is, I think this is too thick. So let's go maybe these 3. And then, let me see what's in here. I've got some black cording, maybe. Oh, this is kind of cute too. This black, whatever that is. I was trying to see if I had any like real skinny rickrack, but what in the world? Clearly I need to craft with this because look how much of this I have. Here's some lace. That could be fun. I don't have any white rickrack. It doesn't look like. Okay, well, oh, wait. I don't have very much left. Okay, there. Okay, now. All right, let's figure this out. All right, I think I want to have a little piece of cheesecloth. So I'm gonna cut a snippet of this off. So let's get some orange ribbon for sure over here. I really need to get a push pin over here because these little pins are gonna end up in my feet. So we've got an orange ribbon. I'm gonna take my, well, this I need to cut kind of into a skinnier strip. So let's do that first. Okay, that works for me. And then, I don't know if I need 2 pieces or if I just want 1. Okay, we'll just do this for now. Do it kind of skinny. Okay, what else I got? I definitely want to do some of this black. I like that. And then maybe, do I want some sparkle? No, I think I'm gonna put the sparkle on the Hocus Pocus. Maybe rickrack? Maybe rickrack. Okay. And I think this is gonna be enough of a grouping for me. Yeah. All right, so for this part, all you gotta do, take it from the back, bring it up to the front, and we are gonna tie this without shredding our cheesecloth too much. Oh man, I've totally shredded that cheesecloth. That's okay. That is okay. All right, we're just gonna, and then once you get it up here, I am gonna tie, as tight as I can get it. Then you want to take, again, a little bit of glue right under here. Except that my glue gun turned off. Ah! Okay, stinking glue gun. All right. My glue gun has been finicky lately. Ugh, get on there. Okay, well, we're gonna have to wait for the glue to heat up. But, so as you can see, I kind of, so now I need to get this one matched on this side a little bit. And trim off some of this. I'm just gonna put this here, and then we wanna trim it. So I'm just gonna pull it down. And you want them kind of about the same length. So trim off your extra. Of course, you don't have to do it that if you don't want to, if you like them different heights and stuff. All right, so we're gonna wait for the glue to heat up. If my stinking glue gun will stay on. My glue gun is sizzling. That cannot be a good sign. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Come on. All right, now let's do this one. this project, I'm going to be starting with one of these Dollar Tree signs that I have, but you could get any kind of canvas that you want. And I'm going to measure this little piece right here, so I know how much space I have to work with. So I'm going to call it 5.5. Double check this way. We'll call it 5.5. As you can tell, this is not on there very straight, so I'm going to try to pop it off without ruining too much of the sign. That popped off pretty easily, and I did not even damage that, which is nice. Here's where you can decide. Because this is black and white, I am just going to leave it like this because I feel like that will work for this project. But you can paint, do ribbon trim around it. If you don't have this sign, but you like the look of this, then just get yourself some sort of sign. It can even be flat, and a piece of foam board, and then you'll get that kind of lifted look by using the foam board to attach our printable. So I'm gonna go over to my printer, grab my printable, and I'll be right back. For this project, here is the free printable that you can grab. And what I need to do is just trace this. So I'm gonna center it first. So then you want to take a pencil and simply trace around this. You can get this free printable down below in the description box. Pencils out of lead. Let's try another one. Ah, there we go. Next step is we need to get this attached to our sign. So I'm just going to use tape roller. You can use Mod Podge, whatever your preference for attaching, but I'm just going to make sure to put tape on the edges so that it will stick really well, and then I usually do some in the middle. Perfect. Oh, that's sticky. Sticky, sticky, sticky. All right, we're gonna stick this on. Just like that from the bottom, and then push it up. Nice, perfect. We need to get this attached back to our little canvas here. Now, if you want to kind of have this raised up, you could put some foam stickers so that it kind of has a look like it's raised up like this. You could definitely do that. I am not sure if I want to do that or not. I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna leave it flat. So I am just gonna take some hot glue and use that to get it attached. And I'm keeping this sign pretty simple. I am not adding a bunch of stuff to it. Just very basic. All right, here we go. Down it goes. Nice. Press it down. There we go. A very simple, quick little sign. You could do letters on it. You could add ribbon, bows, but again, I am just going to keep it very simple and cute. Here's the second printable that we're working with. Again, you can grab it for free down below, and I'll be using one of these Dollar Tree frames for this. Originally, I thought, okay, I'm just gonna leave it gold, but I may wanna paint it. I don't know. So first I wanna get the picture in here so we can see what's gonna look best. So what I wanna do is I'm gonna set my frame down first to see where I need to. All right, and then I'm going to take my pencil, and I'm not going to trace like pushing against this, because that means that my circle will literally be the size and it probably will pop through the frame. So to avoid that, I'm actually gonna take my pencil and kind of lean it, because this is sitting up. There's like a gap right here. I'm sure you probably can't see that, but there's a gap. So I'm gonna actually kind of shove my pencil at an angle and then draw like that. So we gotta hold this steady, and then inside, pushing my pencil inside the frame. So see, you guys, you won't be able to see it on the outside, but yeah, that's the key, is you definitely want to get it on the inside of the frame to make sure, there, close enough. Okay, so there I've got my rough little line to draw, and we'll just cut it out. I'm not a huge person with the gold stuff. Like, I mean, when we moved into this house, you know, our house was built in the 80s, and you could tell like everything was gold. Gold fixtures, everything. And I got rid of all that. So I just think maybe I don't want to do gold. Okay, so now you can see that because I traced it like that, it's not gonna fall through my frame. And I don't think yeah, we're gonna paint this. I think it's just gonna look so much better. So let's figure out a color. I'm thinking either the blue, maybe this peachy color. So let's see what we can find. All right, I have decided on, I just didn't have a corally orange, so that's probably what I really wanted to paint it. So I've decided on this one. I need to give it a good shake because I haven't used it in a while. Oh yeah, that's actually gonna, I think, go really well. Okay, so this color is called, oh, in case you're wondering, it's by Folk Art. It's called Crush Coral. So that's what I'll be painting this with. Okay, we are ready now to start putting this together. So what I'm gonna do is I wanna get this in place. I'm gonna grab a little, I'm gonna tape this in place because it is pretty close to the edge. But I wanna make sure I got it where I want it. So, and then it's centered. I'm gonna set it down and just do a little bit of tape so that it will stay in place. There, just need 2 pieces, no big thing. All right, and then just twist these into place. And finishing touch. Do. Oh, that's so cute. Cute. Not scary. Very cute. Oh my gosh, I love it. Got a Dollar Tree chalkboard easel here that I painted with some orange paint, and now I'm going through my buttons because these are going to turn into balloons. So when I say I took a while to try to figure out my balloon combination, I took a while, a really long while, and in the end I ended up just picking orange buttons. Before I started adding my ghost and balloons, I wanted to distress the edges, so to do that I just grabbed some brown wax and a fan brush and just went all the way around until I liked how it looked. Time to make the ghost. So I grabbed my paint pen and I did an outline of a ghost, and then I just filled it in with the paint pen. I also made one little ghost hand coming off the side so that there would be a place for the little ghost to hold the balloons. Once the ghost was all filled in and the hand was there, I took my 3 orange buttons and hot glued them directly to the sign. And for the strings, I decided to use a gold paint pen. I really liked how that looked, so I drew strings from my buttons down to the hand. And then I also took that gold paint pen and just kind of loosely outlined the ghost. I wasn't trying to make it all perfect, but I did want to kind of give the ghost a little extra pop on the sign. To tie that gold a little bit more into this picture, I just took that gold marker and I started drawing little polka dots. Some of them were like half circles coming off the edge, and I just kind of filled it in to where it looked good. I will definitely link everything from today's video down below for you, so make sure you just check the description box or the pinned comment and you should be able to find anything you may be looking for. To finish off this side of the sign, I grabbed that gold paint pen and added some stars, and then I also grabbed the black paint pen and drew on some eyes. You definitely could write a boo on this, but I think it turned out so cute, and here's what it looks like. Grab some wooden spoons. I wanted to make a Halloween version. I also made a fall version of my Christmas version, as you see here, and I just wanted to recreate that for this. Now, I'm not going to really focus on the fall wood spoons, but you'll see those, how they turned out. They were in my fall comp. But for the Halloween spoon, it was very simple. I painted it black. I added white hot glue and some sprinkles, the word boo, and then a little bow. I'll be making over these fall signs that I got from Hobby Lobby that were on clearance and I had in my stash. You might remember that snowman selfie that I did a while back. I thought it would be cute to make a little family of ghosts. And so to do that, I started with these and painted the, I guess, background of this with some black paint. Before I painted my ghosts, I did want to sketch them out. They're going to be in different positions of these little frames. I wanted to make sure to have a dad, so obviously he's going to be the biggest one, a daughter, a son, and then a mom ghost. Once I sketched it out very quickly with my pencil, I decided to go ahead and paint these with white paint versus using my paint markers. And so I painted the ghost and then let that dry really well before I finished off the details. For the eyes on the ghost, I'm just using my black paint marker and drawing those on with that. Then I decided for the mom and daughter, I wanted to put bows in their hair. So I grabbed some of my velvet ribbon. I got this huge pack from Hobby Lobby. It came with tons of colors and I just tied up little bows and then hot glued those directly to the mom and the daughter. For the dads, I thought about making bow ties, but then I decided to go ahead and leave them plain. Then I grabbed my pencil and sketched out the word boo on the sun because he's going to be hanging upside down. And so I sketched that out with my pencil, and then I did use my white paint marker just to freehand that and write it. You definitely, if you have a Cricut, you could cut out the word boo if you want to do that. But now I've got a cute little ghost family of selfies. That's a wrap on today's video. Let me know what your favorite project from today's video. There were some new DIYs along with a couple from my DIY vault. I would love to know. Also, if you celebrate Halloween, tell me, what was your favorite Halloween costume that you dressed up as a kid and why? For me, it probably would be Wonder Woman. I was obsessed with Wonder Woman when I was little, and I think that would probably be my all-time favorite, but I would love to know yours. Thank you so much for watching. Here are some more videos you might want to check out, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!